The architecture of a revolution is rarely forged in the noble halls of debate. It is a meticulously calibrated, shadow-drenched descent into the absolute, soul-shattering necessity of survival. And in Rise, Birth of a Revolution, the visceral, atmospheric, and lethally paced inaugural movement of Mark Moore's Ricchan Chronicles saga, the concept of a political uprising is re-engineered into a high-stakes, arcane industrial survival thriller. Moore, the master strategist of this blood-gilded, conspiracy-riddled, and reality-bending odyssey, delivers a kinetic, uncompromising, and adrenaline-fueled masterpiece that treats the act of rebellion not as a romantic struggle, but as a perilous, reality-anchoring necessity. This isn't a story of whimsical, freedom-fighting frolicking. It is a rapid-fire, deeply intense plunge into the logistical nightmare of maintaining a foothold in a colonial world where the political order itself has a predatory agenda. The perilous collision between a desperate protagonist's search for justice and the absolute, unchecked malice of an empire that views moral conviction as a contaminant to its ecosystem, and the terrifying truth that when you incite a revolution in Ricchan, you don't just spark a movement, you synthesize a reality-stabilizing buffer against the encroaching, sanity-eroding void. Moore hooks the audience instantly by constructing a high-stakes, hyper-focused trap. Damian Flynn, a politician whose sudden awakening conscience transforms him from a cog in the colonial machine to a death row agitator, finds himself bound to a ragtag legacy that requires the systematic, tactical manipulation of nature's own unrefined human resolve to survive. The narrative center zeroes in on the protagonist's methodical, high-pressure descent into the revolution stitching, a state of hyper-rational, morality-infused perception that forces them to parse the fundamental, reality-rewriting intent of their rebellion-aligned destiny. As they traverse the oppressive, smoke-choked lanes of the capital and the dangerously shifting, memory-saturated ruins of the colony's borderlands, they realize that their uprising is not merely a service provision. It is a systemic catalyst that is drawing the attention of the Breton enforcers, entities that hunt those who dare to master the hope that consumes reality. The investigation into the sudden, coordinated disappearance of the colony's most skilled truth-seekers quickly escalates into a dangerous, high-stakes tactical chess match as they discover that the entire colonial structure has been covertly funded by the very darkness they are working to keep at bay. Forced to juggle the logistical nightmare of managing a rapidly decaying, reality-bending research project, the constant, suffocating threat of archival erasure, and the mounting, undeniable encounter with the cost of their own burgeoning conviction, they must synthesize a new way of existing, one built on tactical linguistics, radical, improvised insurrection, and an unyielding, purely human refusal to let their truth be redacted by the Empire's relentless, physics-enforcing machinery. Moore's writing style is unapologetically rhythmic, machine gun fast, and saturated with an intense, authentic blend of political arcane jargon, sharp, cynical, intellectual wit, and high-stakes environmental dread. He builds exceptional structural tension by pairing the mundane, aching routines of survival, cross-referencing tactical manifests, deciphering forbidden history-aligned texts, and enduring the quiet, crushing weight of constant, vigilant isolation with the chaotic, nightmare-filled assaults of the Empire's truth-guarding enforcers. The story moves forward with a relentless, momentum-driven energy, turning routine analytical probes, calculated maneuvers through the city's secret, mud-filled basements, and tense, high-stakes standoffs with lethal, logic-warping figures into pulse-pounding steps closer to an inevitable, reality-defining confrontation. The presentation thrives on this sharp analytical focus, making every discovered anomaly, every executed reality stabilization command, and every deep-seated fear confronted feel like a high-stakes victory for the human spirit. What makes Rise an exceptional entry in the modern historical fantasy canon is Moore's unparalleled ability to develop a highly compelling, logic-driven revolutionary whose cognitive discipline is treated as a supreme navigational asset rather than a tragic fading memory. Watch as they transform their experience with obscure, power-bound data into a compass, learning to navigate the chaotic heavens to outmaneuver a power that operates with absolute, terrifying precision. As the structural walls of their reality begin to collapse and the true scope of the Brighton danger is exposed, the pacing transforms into a breathless, heart-pounding race to maintain the shred of truth they carry before their consciousness is permanently unstitched by the Empire's relentless, physics-enforcing machinery. The final act is an absolute masterclass in suspense, delivering a barrage of explosive realizations, shattered paradigms, and a spectacular, jaw-dropping climax that completely leaves the reader thoroughly stunned. For fans of thrillers demanding a brilliant, character-driven, and masterfully paced exploration of physics and colonial imperialism, this book delivers an unforgettable shockwave.